Hi students, coming to the next topic, that is inheritance. So this is one of the most common feature that we used in the object oriented programming language. So inheritance. So what is an inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but it is a relationship between two or more classes. So first, the inheritance is nothing but it is a relationship between two or more classes where derived class inherits the properties of base class. So derived class inherits the properties of base class, so that you call it as inheritance. So first of all, inheritance is nothing but it is a relationship between two or more classes. Those two or more classes may be the base class or the derived class. So it shows the relationship between that base class and the derived class. So here the derived class inherits the properties of base class. So what is this derived class and what is base class? Actually, this is the base class A and this is the derived class B. So here the B inherits the properties of A. So whatever the A that declares, so that properties will be used in the derived class. So here this B inherits the properties of base class. This you call it as inheritance. It shows the relationship between two or more classes. So it may be any number of classes. Okay. It shows the relationship between two or more classes. So let us see what is a base class and what is a derived class first. So what is base class? So base class, it is a class whose properties are inherited by another class. Whose properties are inherited by another class. So this base class properties will be inherited by another class. Okay. So this you call it as a base class. It is also called as super class or parent class. So whenever you have seen that a super class or a parent class, don't be confused. Super class or the parent class, both are the same, and these are another name for this super class or the parent class is the base class. Now coming to the next, derived class. So what is this derived class? So base class means here the properties are inherited by another class. These class properties will be inherited by another class. Whereas derived class, it is the class that inherits the properties from base class. It inherits the properties from base class. Okay. So here is properties are inherited by another class. These properties will inherited by another class, that is a base class. Derived class means inherits the properties from base class. So it is also called as subclass or child class. So another name for this derived class is subclass or child class. So base means super, derived means sub. So base is a parent class, derived is a child class. I hope you cleared what is a base class and what is a derived class. So let us see some examples for the derived class. Suppose I said base is a parent and derived is a child. Suppose base class and derived classes. Suppose base class is student. If you take base class is student, so then what will be the derived classes? So it may be a graduate student or it may be undergraduate student Okay, So here the student is a parent. So here that student having the child's like graduate student or undergraduate student. Here derived class is acquiring the properties of base class. It inheriting the properties of base class. So whatever the student, that properties will be inherited by the derived class. So each student may have the having the name, each student having the address, like that. It acquiring the properties of the base class. If you take another example, suppose shape is a base class. So the shape may be a circle or triangle or rectangle or cube, anything. Okay, here the shape, and this is a base class, and this is derived class. This derived class acquiring the properties of base class. It inheriting the properties of base class. Like just like employee. So if you take the employee as a base class, the derived class consisting of some faculty, staff. So here the staff and faculty are all the employees only. But here some properties will be declared that will be inherited in the derived class. So this is base and this is derived. So this is a superclass and these are the subclasses. Okay. So let us defining derived class. So how you will define the derived class? Defining derived class. So what is the syntax for defining the derived class? Is a class and you have to write the derived class name. Derived class name. A colon should be there. Okay. Colon is nothing but inheriting the properties. So derived class name, and here you have to write the visibility mode. Visibility mode will be the optional. Actually, in the previous video, I explained about the visibility mode and the access specifiers. So access specifiers or the visibility modes are both are the same. Those are the public or private or protected. Okay. So visibility mode and write the base class name. Okay. So class, derived class name, colon, visibility mode, base class name. And you just write some here the members of the derived class. So whatever the member functions or data members that you have to write here, derived class. Okay. So this is a syntax of the derived class. So first you declare the base class, and that base class property is inherited in the derived class. So class, derived class name, colon, visibility mode, base class. Here the colon indicates derived class name is derived from base class, and the visibility modes are the access specifiers. So those may be public, private or protected. So this is about, I just explained about the base class and the derived class in the inheritance. So let us see why and when to use inheritance. So when we will use this inheritance and why we are using this inheritance. Let us take one example to explain about this inheritance. So the point here is why and when to use inheritance. Okay. So when you will use this inheritance. So consider a group of vehicles. Let us take the example. With the help of the example, I'll explain why we are using inheritance and when we will use this inheritance. Consider a group of vehicles. So example for this is considered a group of vehicles. So you need to create a classes. Those group of vehicles may be the bus, car and truck. So I have taken 3 vehicles. So we have to create a classes for bus, car and truck. So here the methods. So the methods these are the classes. The classes are the bus, car and truck. Suppose the methods that you will use in these classes are fuel, amount, capacity, apply brakes. So these are the methods that you are using in this classes. So here you just observe here, bus, car and truck are the group of vehicles. So this is a vehicle and this is a vehicle and this is a vehicle. So here the fuel amount, capacity, apply brakes, these three functions are common for all these three classes. So bus is having the fuel amount and it has the capacity and it is also applying the brakes, as well as car is also required the fuel amount, capacity, apply brakes, and truck is also having the fuel amount, capacity, apply brakes. So will be same for three classes. So these three methods is same for three classes. So if you write without inheritance, how you will write the class? So here the class bus. So for this class bus, and you are having the this is the class bus, and you create another class car, and you create another class truck. Okay, these are the group of vehicles, three vehicles. So for these three vehicles, you are writing the same methods. Fuel amount. So here I am writing without inheritance. So fuel amount, capacity, and apply brakes. In the same way, for the class car also, you are having the fuel amount method. You are using the fuel amount, capacity, apply brake. For class truck also, fuel amount, capacity, apply brake. Okay, so here we are using the same methods for these three classes. Here one disadvantage is here duplication of same code 3 times. We are using the same code 3 times. These may increase the chance of errors. So if you are using the same code for the 3 classes, means you are repeating the same code for 3 classes, it may increase the chance of errors and it may have the data redundancy problem also. So to avoid this, this type of situation, inheritance is using. I hope you're clear. So why we are using inheritance? To avoid the type of situations. What type of situation? Increase the chance of errors and data redundancy. To avoid these problems, we are using the inheritance properties. Okay, so whenever you are using the same code for all the classes, you just use the inheritance concept, okay, without providing the data redundancy and the chances of errors. So if you take data redundancy, if you take the inheritance for this problem, so class vehicles I am taking, vehicle is a base class, I am taking class vehicle. So this is the base class. So in the base class, I am using fuel amount, capacity, and apply brakes. So only in the base class I am writing these functions. So now just the derived class will use those functions. Means it inherits the properties of base class. So class bus, class car, and the class truck. So this is the inheritance property. So instead of writing the same code thrice, I am writing the code only once. So that is in the base class. So this base class, with the help of the base class, I'm just inheriting the properties of this base class. So this is a base class. Here I'm declaring whatever the most common functions or the methods or variables that are used. So that I declared in the base class. So whenever I required, I use in the derived class. So class bus, class car, class truck, these are the three classes. These are the derived classes. So these acquires the properties of the base class. So here what you observe, it avoids the duplicates and it also increases the reusability. So here avoids duplicates and increase reusability. So whenever you require, you just call the base class. So avoids the duplicates and increase the reusability. So this is why we are using inheritance, because to avoid the duplicates and increase the reusability, we are using inheritance. When you will use the inheritance, whenever you are using the same methods for different classes, instead of writing the same for all the classes, you just write a code in one class, that is a base class, and acquire the properties of base class in the derived class. Okay, so in the next video we will see some more points in the inheritance. Thank you.